What's going on, guys? So I'm out here at the open house event in Elkhart, Indiana, specifically at the Grand Design area. And I was able to catch several of the folks who actually represent Grand Design, both from a product management perspective as well as a development perspective. And I wanted to know what they are doing to improve their product and address many of the concerns people have had over the last couple of years. And boy, I was not ready for the flooding of, hey, let me show you this. Hey, let me show you that. And I think this video will even impress those of you who have been really critical of Grand Design lately, if you're able to have an open mind about willingness to at least see what they're doing. Now, again, this is going to be pretty cool for me because I got to see a lot of this, hear a lot of this from the folks here, and I think, again, you'll be impressed by it. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, so first and foremost, this is an area that they walked me over to and they were really impressed to show me this. This doesn't really have much to do with some of the problems that they were dealing with a couple years ago, but this is certainly game-changing. So the reason why they have this section of roof here is because they've announced that all Solitude and Influence, which is like a sub-brand of Solitude, will now have, starting soon, a fully composite roof that uses no lap sealant anymore. It uses actual foam gaskets, and they're looking, I don't know if they've gotten it yet, but he said they're looking to try to get a lifetime warranty on this roof system. And one of the things they really love about it is the fact that it actually wraps down to the drip edge on it. It doesn't go to a hard 45 angle right here, which could potentially lead to water intrusion. That is pretty dang crazy. And if they're able to accomplish a lifetime warranty on a roof from the factory, that's insane. And that is something that I've never heard of before, at least from a major producer of RVs. So that is really cool. And again, you'll start seeing it on Solitude as well as Influence very soon as a standard option, or standard feature, not even an option. The second one, and this is probably one of the biggest ones, and this does help address some of the issues that some people, had with their RVs a few years ago. All Influence, Solitude, and Momentum, except for the Momentum G Series, will have standard, you ready for this? Standard MORryde independent suspension with disc brakes. That is absolutely nuts. Every unit you're looking at out here has independent suspension from MORryde with disc brakes. That's like a $10,000 to $15,000 upgrade option in the past. But they said, you know what? We contacted MORryde. We said, if we send you guys a ton of volume, would you guys be able to provide this to us in a way that we can put it on our RVs at a slightly reduced cost? And they said yes. So they are putting the full MORryde independent suspension system with disc brakes on all Solitudes, Influences, and Momentums except for the G-Class series. And they have a little display set up right here so I can actually show you that if you haven't seen it before. So that is absolutely freaking awesome. Check that out. Now, another one people are going to ask about is related to the frame. So they are moving to all mega frame, I think they call it, or monster beam frames, where all the new frames are going to have this much stronger, heavier beam that actually has bracing in different areas of it. And this is going to be the strongest, heaviest duty beam that they're able to spec on these trailers. Now, that is going to absolutely increase the weight, so keep that in mind. But this is something that their Momentums, Solitudes, Influence, and I think pretty much all of their fifth wheel line, their bigger fifth wheel line, will now have. That is really crazy. Couple that with the fact that they're going to have standard disc brakes, standard MORryde rubber independent suspension, as well as a solid one-piece composite roof. That's pretty awesome. But let me show you some other stuff. So a feature that they are working with right now and trying to master are adding load cells to all of the leveling system legs on these RVs. So you can actually see exactly how much tongue weight or pin weight you have, as well as the ability for you to see exactly how much your RV weighs at any given time by literally raising your suspension off the ground with your leveling system and utilizing very accurate load cells to specifically tell you what the weight of your RV is and how much hitch weight you'll actually be transferring to the back of your vehicle. And it will even deliver that to you as a percentage of your gross vehicle weight rating. So if you're slightly over, it would say like 101% of your gross vehicle weight rating. So it is really cool to see what they're doing there. They've also added wiring harnesses in a lot of areas on their RVs, such as the roof panels and areas where you might traditionally see some type of a contact or potential contact or chafing of wiring. They're adding wiring harnesses to their RVs as well. Stepping up inside, they are doing a few things differently inside as well. So they've switched to all hardwood drawer boxes as well. So that's really nice. They're adding reinforcement to the bottoms of them as well. And they're just moving to a better system in general. So these are the biggest changes that I've seen. And they're notable because these directly impact folks who are concerned about potential issues. The brand Grand Design is probably not going to go away. And if anything, they're still one of the top selling brands out there. But I think the key here is, are they doing enough to convince people that their RVs are built well, that they're putting the money and the energy and the development and engineering into places that matter to folks? And it's honest to say that if I purchased a Grand Design Momentum or Solitude with independent MORryde suspension, heavy-duty H load range tires, a composite roof, a wiring harness equipped with all brass plumbing fittings everywhere. If I purchase a Grand Design that has these features, that it would arguably be better quality than the RV I currently have that does not have these features. So I like the fact that all these problems that Grand Design went through actually are resulting in a product that could very well be superior to most of the other products on the road. And that's a really good thing to say. If you hate the brand, if you love the brand, if you don't want to give them another chance, if you do want to give them another chance, the fact is that regardless of what they're going through as a company, if they're making changes and adding things to their RV that actually equate to a better built RV, then again, why would someone not want to own one over an RV that I might currently have that doesn't have the same strength of frame, doesn't have the independent suspension, doesn't have the wiring harnesses, doesn't have the composite roof? Again, these are all debatable things, right? These are things you all can talk about and we can discuss, but I'd love to know what your opinion is. Are you happy to see that all the drama and challenges that Grand Design went through led to a point to where they're like, you know what, let's just put independent suspension from MORryde with disc brakes on every RV standard? Because the way you can think about this is, from a frame structure perspective, is if this suspension that they now have can reduce the amount of shock that travels into the RV by 30%. Let's just say this by 30% is what you're going to get out of that. And this is just an arbitrary number I'm throwing out. Then you're 30% less likely for the components inside of your RV, the structure of the RV, or other parts of the RV to fail prematurely. That's probably the best way of thinking about it. So anything they can do to improve the performance and reduce the shock, reduce the harshness that travels into the superstructure of the RV, the greater chance you are less likely to have problems with your RV. So I hope that all makes sense. They still have their 5-year warranty on their frame, 3-year structural warranty and 1-year base warranty that are all transferable. And there's a lot to be said about that. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are, whether you'll, say I'll never buy a Grand Design again, I'll never consider a Grand Design, or whether you're on the fence and you've just wanted to see what they're going to do and how they're going to respond. I think some of the responses are pretty dang good. Going to the heaviest duty frame they can get, going to the best suspension available for RVs, and going to wiring harnesses, a much, much better roof that is virtually going to be a lifetime warranty roof if they get things the way they want it. Those are all good things. Those are good things for the industry. And you can thank the people who were loudest and most critical for those changes happening. That's probably the key behind it. You can thank the people who caused them to decide to make these changes and to spend the money. Hopefully it doesn't drive up the price to a point to where people can't afford them anymore. But again, if you're wanting to know what type of changes they've made, these are all pretty dang impressive changes. Anyways, I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Please drop a comment below. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up. We'll talk to you again very soon.